use my affiliate link to support the channel down in the description. We got Kakashi, his new list. He has 3 shifter and 2 mercourier is what I'm kind of seeing here for the unique stuff and the 3 soul release. I like shifter. You just have to, I think you should be playing Dragoon if you're running shifter, frankly. So if you're not, I just don't like shifter, but you know, it is there. Shifter does stop most decks, so there's a lot of times like where I kind of wish I had shifter. So I get it, but like I still think it's not that great. You probably can't kill. Like maybe you can, you probably can, but it depends. I like the list. There's nothing wrong with this. I mean, I mean the 2 mercourier, 1 quem maybe is a little troll with no gold sark, or no, there is a gold sark. So okay, I dig it. We have Al-Kaisi Omir here with their list. 45 cards with double mercourier, double imperm with the branded banishment. I like it with the droplet and super poly because that's kind of non-negotiable right now as a branded player. John Final Stand, Jake Puppet, me, you Exodia. No. I'm glad the emotes just told the story there. 1 fusion dupe, and I don't see a thrust. Don't know how I feel about that, and by that I would not be running that, especially banishment without thrust is pretty bad, so I wouldn't be running that either. Like the whole point of running banishment is, I mean, you can Albion it, but you don't want to Albion it. You want to Albion red. And then the hand trap side package, and then a Versago for the Dragoon with Nibs and a Lightning Storm with Feather Duster and Gold Sark is really troll in the extra deck or side deck. What are we doing now? What are we doing now? And the Sprite in the extra side deck is even more troll. Like, I guess it's there for the matchups where like you need the spot removal, right? Don't make me gift again, bro, says John the Vampire. John the Vampire called a shot. He's like, don't force me. I'm done for the night. That's totally fair on, boo. I appreciate y'all just chilling. So yeah, I see the Blazing Branded King too, because obviously our deck loses to Dropless. I think it's pretty good. I just think you have a lot of edits you need to do with the deck. We got Slayer with his 2nd place locals list right here. Pretty standard list with the, I like the double quem, but we do have a Albaz the Ashen. Perfect time to talk about why this card is a total bait and branded Despia. So let's talk about Albaz the Ashen. We can make this into a short, guys. Albaz the Ashen is a card that people were recommending for fire format because it gets over targeting effects, which people thought, I mean, you know, there's SP Little Knight that targets and kashtira cards, so it's like, okay, in theory it's okay, but the thing is Albaz the Ashen is pretty hard to even play with. It's a brick for the most part. Obviously you can send it off a branded fusion, however it's not you don't want to send that off a branded fusion. You have so many other better targets, you know, Sanctifier lines. If you're setting this up, okay, let's just say like, and let's just like finish the point with the fire decks. Most of the fire decks non-target destroy with Kieran. You know, obviously Promethean Princess does target, but you know, Albaz the Ashen is there for the Promethean Princess. I just think when Kieran is 50% of fire decks, over 50% of fire decks are Kieran. Albaz the Ashen is like significantly bad against those. So it's like in the main deck, does not belong there. Albaz the Ashen, I think in general is troll, and you shouldn't be running it in your branded decks. It's very much a brick. Same goes with Mysterion, but that's neither here nor there because I haven't been seeing too many people on it. But yeah, outside of that, very good list. You could go like 45, cut that. I think that's fine. Double red is not optimal, but you have double quem, so it's probably fine, right? Side deck is, or extra X pretty standard. And then we have the Ghost Bells. Ghost Bell is something I have actually been wanting to figure out or test lately. And then Stepelia on the side. I get Stepelia on the side. I've been there. I would just like switch that with Masquerade. I feel like that's an obvious error because Masquerade is much more of a game 3 card. Game 2 or 3. And then we have the Cosmics and then the Evenlies and the Soul Release. So overall a good list outside the Ashen. In the Stepelia thing. So Regio Productions, how's it going? Good evening, GX. About to good evening, Regio. About to finalize my deck list for Houston Regionals tomorrow. It's between Chimera branded and branded Despia. Either way, wish me luck. Well, good luck, Regio. I have to ask you which one you feel more comfortable on because I would say that is probably your pick. I think branded Despia has a higher ceiling. But if you feel like you have a better time on Chimera, I feel like you'll do just fine on that. You just have to know your matchups. I think Brand Despia has a very good matchup into this meta, but you know, you've seen Chimera do a bit here and there. You saw Andre Torres went 6-0 as OTS, so I think whatever choice you make, you know, just bring in a little spice here and there, and then get some sleep before, get some food in you, and you're going to do just fine, brother. So good luck. Yeah, let's check out the next list though. List I've been working on to take some local tourneys. So 3 Crow in the main is nuts. See, like, Crow's good right now. You're just playing into talents, I think, unnecessarily, your game 1s. So I just wouldn't run it personally, but outside of that, that's like a fine main deck. And then at least we aren't siding Stepelia, but we have the Masquerade. And what are we missing? No, that seems standard. And then side deck of Droll and Nib, and then Soul Release, Cosmic, and Evenly. I feel like that's a fine side deck. It covers all your bases. Like, I think that was my side deck at the regional, you know. On Bufir, favorite hand trap is Havness. Same here, brother. Same here. My favorite hand trap is Havness, and then it's tier cash, and then it's Gamma. I love Gamma. I actually love Gamma. It's one of my favorite hand traps. I hope it comes back to 2. I need to get Deltas when they go down. I think Delta's pretty good right now, but just we don't see enough of that card because there's not enough in rotation. Enough copies in frickin' circulation. We have No Vanity's new list. What's up, No Vanity, if you're still here. Side deck covers every matchup besides Fire, and Fire gets beaten with Engine. So, fair enough. I mean, you have the Droplet, though. I feel like that's your Fire card, and then you have the Thrust as well. Because, like, Thrust and Talents just, like, solve your Fire matchup, so I feel like this deck's very good. Like, I think that was a main deck I was very much tinkering with for a while. And then side deck was Bestials. I would just run the 2 Druid Swarm over the Baldrake, but that's just me. You'll have to let me know if Baldrake comes up. And then we have the Dark Ruler No Mores and the Evenly, and then the Cosmic. And then the one goes in match is quite spicy. At that point, I would be running also Tikaboo, right? Like, am I wrong about that? Because then it's like, that's actually cool, though. That's another card we could run. I think Tikaboo is pretty good right now, though, in theory. Swift Scarecrow is another favorite of mine. It's a funny one. That is a funny one. As a player of old formats, I love things like Battle Fader. I know someone running Honest right now in Voiceless Voice just to get over like their battle phase issue sometimes. I want 3 names for every matchup just to have the option. Oh, what's up, No Vanity? How's it going? How's it going? Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. You always get to search just in case. So, like, Lubellion's always live. And then, like, you do have other dragons, so that makes sense. I was just, like, wondering the theory behind that. Side deck is designed for every random rogue to get to top tables at regional. Yeah, I see those Droolers, man. You're like, wow, I'm not losing going second. And then with the Evenly and Lightning Storm and Cosmics, like, you have a pretty great spot removal package too. You have a great board breaking package, and then like the Bestials kind of get you there. I'd say maybe like there's, yeah, like you said, you just don't have something for fire, but you know, you have the droplets, you have the super poly, and you have the engine, so that's fine. Like, I don't think I resolved a soul release once at the regional. It's good. Just, you know, you have other cards. All right, Bob in the chat. Mr. Channel Member Bob. This is his 44 card. Weird one, but I like it. All right, well, 44 cards is fine. 2 droplet, 2 super poly. So that's like the Hukunima data like ratios, which I kind of like. I find interesting where you like run 2 of each non-engine, so you don't like ever draw doubles of each non-engine, which I feel like works. Like, I feel like that's a fine theory. So I respect it, and it allows him to go 44 cards. I just think you don't have enough non-engine in this build in particular, but I think it's fine. Like, it's probably fine. Like, you're gonna not brick as much, so that's fine. Abelinatus, a Quest, and Dragoon and Dark Magician, however, is pretty wild in the side deck, I will not lie. I have to ask if you're here. I mean, I'm assuming this is like the localized list, so it's like you have options for all of these decks you're expecting at local, so it's like fine if that's the case. And then signing the 3rd Super Poly and Droplet, I feel like makes sense. And then the Evenly's Drolls and Nibiru, that's fine. And then the Proskenion in the side is crazy with the Masquerade. I'd be running Lulu somewhere personally, but that's just maybe with the double Quem. I don't think you need the Proskenion personally, or you could just like main the Dark Magician and cut the Proskenion. What's up, Salvador Ortega? Ortega, sorry. How's it going, brother? Thanks for checking out the stream. Guys, we're at 18 likes right now. Make sure to leave a like if you have not already. It's been a banger of a stream. So, yeah. Nice list by Bob. We have Johnny Linguini here. With, once again, another side deck, Dark Magician. I already know the thumbnail of this. It's gonna be like, please stop doing this for the love of God. I get it, but I would just main at that point because you can side better cards. Like Dragoon is either a card you want or you don't want in your deck. Like, because if you go against Lab game 1 and you don't have Dragoon, you're looking silly. Or if you don't have hand traps too, without like drawing a good hand. Which you can, but a good hand in those instances require a super poly. Or droplet. John the Vampire, I'm thinking of cutting Droll since I have Ghost Spells for 3 shifter. I think Droll's very cuttable right now. Unless you like know you're going against Goblin deck, you know, deck that searches 15 times, Manadium. I don't think like you really necessarily are going to see those decks at a regional. I mean, you might. Like, I saw 2 Goblins at my regional, and Droll helped me the one game, but like, I probably could have done it either way. But yeah, Johnny Linguini's list, I like it. Not bad, not bad. Not much to say except just get the Dark Magician on the side, please. And then the Adlib one, Quem, 30 cards, not bad. Got Taito's list right here. This is a crazy list. Taito said, took out some stuff in the main for Incredible, since I think she might be a very solid option going second. This is like the most fun list of the night. Salvador Ortega, is it just me or is Branded kind of a hard deck to play? I've been watching YouTube videos and laying out my cards, but geez, I get stumped a lot. Branded is a tough deck to learn, actually. It plays a bit different. It's a mid-range deck, but the amount of options and lines you have are just kind of insane. In terms of your deck building especially, because you can run so many different builds and like so many different win cons, so many different techs, non-engine, and ways to supplement your core engine. So you know, it's about learning what all the cards do, and I think testing online helps a lot. I also think that, you know, when I played branded, I didn't go to locals for like a couple weeks so I could learn the deck. I didn't go to locals until I actually like felt like I could play, you know, a competent turn. And that's just like a personal thing. I don't like just going to a locals when I don't know what a deck does personally. Fair if you do. But, you know, I would just sit down, do some test hands, watch videos. Watching videos helps, but I think you need to play online. Like, if you have YG Omega Dueling Book, I think that helps a lot. Dueling, or YG Omega especially, you want an automatic simulator. So if you don't have YG Omega, I would go on, like, Dueling Nexus. That's also automated. That just helps you really learn the deck. That's the best way to learn decks, in my opinion, is using an automatic simulator. So you figure out how to, like, you're playing the deck on training wheels on that at that point, which is not a bad thing. Salvador says, all right, Unbu. I was like, damn, am I too dumb for this or what? No, brother. Trust me, I was stumped on this deck for like almost a month. Like, and that was me, like, you know, that was some decent time into it. I had to like take off from locals. So, all right, on, John the Vampire, that's what I love about the deck, the sheer amount of options you have and when comboing and during deck building. Yes, it's very fun. The deck, it brings deck building back to Yu-Gi-Oh, where sometimes that doesn't exist. Like, your deck is, I love deck building in Yu-Gi-Oh, and your deck is very much dependent. Your performance as a branded player is dependent on your deck building ability, and then the ability to pilot said deck. And the deck building ability means you need to like set up a win con. You see a deck, you're like, hey, I have these moving parts that help my engine to get to this point of a gimmick lock, and if I don't get gimmick lock, then I have double mirror jade, you know, and then there's also, like, you know, the bestials or the hand traps or the board breakers or like things like Incredible Ecclesia or Branded Regained or Branded White here, or Branded Banishment. So you have lots of different options. Then obviously you have like the synchro variant, like you could run a Dissipator for God's sakes, like this guy is. So I am like this for tier right now, so it's understandable. That's fair. So this list is cool. It's 3 Albion, 3 Sarnier. 3 Sarnier is so incorrect, though, every time I see it. I mean, you do have the 3 High Spirits, so I get it. But if you draw a hand of 2 Sarnier, 2 High Spirits, 2 Sarnier, like, and then just, like, non-engine, you lose. So I think that's pretty dangerous to run 3 Sarnier, frankly. Like, I'd run more... I mean, you do have the 3 Lubellion, but I think that's just, like, way too many bestials. You could, like, run Kit at that point. You could run, other things, like, Nadir. Nadir would be way better than the bestials in this build. I like the Credible Ecclesia. I guess that's okay. That's very much a tech I've been seeing in a couple builds lately, so it's something to consider. Droll, Hand Trap package, Bestial package, Dissipator, and, IP Massacre. Okay, so, SP Little Knight... I get it in our deck, but, like, you don't ever want to... I mean, like, if you're running the Bestials, I guess. Yeah, he's running more of a Bestial. Like, he's running... Like this is... Okay, you know what? Now that I think about it, this is more like Bestial Synchro branded, to be honest. You know what? I have to take back what I actually kind of said about this deck, because this is actually our first Synchro branded list that's been submitted to the... This is, like, a true hybrid of Synchro branded. So you know what? I actually appreciate the Dissipator and SP Little Knight. I was about to say don't run those, but you have to look at what a deck's trying to do, and when you see like a maxing of all the level 4 tuners on top of Dissipator SP, a lot of the time what you're gonna be doing is going for synchro branded lines and then doing branded fusion, like if you get stopped kind of thing. And I like that. So this is a very cool list, and then it also has Gimmick Puppet. This is like one of my favorite lists by far tonight. We're gonna have to test this list because I've been meaning to test a branded synchro list, and this is close to what I would run outside of, like, I might run, you know, the Nadirs, because I feel like Nadir is a good way to play around branded fusion not always being resolved in this deck, and then, you know, there's other things. Yeah, no, that's why no vanity. I took back what I said. Saranir plus high spirits, it's like an FTK. That's why I was like, sorry, if you draw Saranir plus non-engine. I was about to say high spirits, but no, I'm like, that's like FTK. All right. I mean, there's a super heavy samurai list here that runs small world. So we have a bunch of super heavy samurais here. We love super heavy samurai. I actually did run this deck for a while. I don't think I ever uploaded a deck profile. I actually recently unprivated a lot of videos, guys. So if you want to go back in the old MetaGamesGX archive, you can. I don't know if I recommend it, but I used to play this deck actually before I got banned. It was a cool deck. It was really easy. I was like, ooh, 1-card combo, go bird. Kane O'Brien, how's it going? I have a list 2 above John the Vampire I think you'll like. I would love to know your opinions on it. Sure. We'll get to it. For sure. I got you, Kane. Salvador says the Nadir package is very interesting to me. It's very good. Nadir package doesn't make sense on its face, but then like once you get a hold of it, like a hang of it, you'll understand why. It's basically, it reads Branded Fusion plus 2 cards. It's just another copy of Branded Fusion. It's a way to play through hand traps. It's a way to play through a broken board. And the Flying Elephant and the side deck is Troll, I'm not gonna lie, as a target, but I guess it's, oh, it's like it's a bridge into these cards, I get it. And then you're running 3 of the super heavy samurai. I don't know what he does. I'd never ran him when I ran that deck, and wow, you run ogre, that's crazy. And then the level 12, yeah, super heavy has changed a lot, especially when you're running 2 ninja Sartobi, but I don't know if I'd be running that personally. I feel like if you're investing much in Saratobi, you already lost the game. Apex Doffy, this is the list. I got your new list right here. This is the list I will be taking to my regional tomorrow. I would say, since you already have, I'd put Soul Release to 1 personally in this list. Also, I think evenly matched is very much worth running more than 2 of, but that's up to you. Because you have the Duster, so actually that's fine. Herald the Abyss will cover your matchups that like you have to be worried about, such as like Purrely, so I think that's fine. I really like Summon Limit. I think Summon Limit's good in our deck. You can just play Mirror J control. So yeah. I mean, Bestials, I'm like back and forth on Bestials personally. I think they're pretty good right now. Like, it really cleans up your Branded and Voiceless matchup. The list is, or sorry, the chat is not refreshing. I'm gonna refresh it. If you guys want to say some stuff in chat to refresh the chat, feel free. All right, so I like this list. I just put Soul Release to 1. The extra deck is actually just perfect in my opinion for a regional. Like you have the Stapelia, you have the Double Jade. That's all you need. I think Lulu gives you a lot more ability to grind when you have the Nadir package, and yeah, Double Queb looks great. Non-engine looks great. If anything, maybe like try a Kit or an Albion as like a 46th card for maybe a little bit more consistency. Because remember, like if you watched my stream, that was my issue. And we have a very similar main deck, so like maybe a Kit in the main deck might be the play. Or a 3rd Cartesia. Try the 3rd Cartesia maybe. I like this list outside of not having Super Poly in it. I think you still need Super Poly. Like I explained before, Super Poly is still worth it to run for all of its faults. You know, it does discard a card, and sometimes people don't end on a board that is super polyable, but I still think that the ability to make Mud Dragon to dodge Imperm, and then more importantly, turn off the Promethea Princess by calling Fire, since they will not be able to target fire cards on either side of the field. So I think that's definitely something you should be running. The 2 Allure is interesting, especially when you're running the 3 Albion and the edge imp. I think I'd be running alert only in the situation where I'm running edge imps, guys, right now in this format. I think it definitely helps a lot, and I think your build is on the right track. I would just put in the super polys, just like maybe even over the droplet and then side it. I would just in this build, because the issue with droplet, but you have so many monsters, you could just run super poly. You want to have like 60%, like 55% spells, 45% monsters, or like 40-60 with branded in general. All right, this is definitely my favorite variant of your list so far. I have no issues with the main deck. Side deck, like I said, Dragoon if you're expecting Lab in the main. If not, just take it out. Because you have Stipalia to play through Shifter. Now we got Anbu in the chat, Mr. Asura himself. Oh wait. Yeah, so yeah, I have the right list. I was just making sure. He plays TEARLAMENTS on the side, folks. While gifting subs and being one of the most important very important part of our community, we have this list that's just we've been cooking it together a bit in the members only group chat, and I really think you're getting somewhere. And you have the Shadala Ariel, which is interesting with the beast. I think that's really cool because then you can run window, right? Yeah. This is actually, it gives your build a bit more legs. It gives you a bit more of a win condition because Window's like, it goes quite well with a tier board. You have the meta noise. I think meta noise makes sense, and then the Rescue Ace Impulse package. Very, very, very good. Very good. Oh, it is frozen. What the hell? Thank you again. Yeah, so hand trap package in the side looks good too. I mean, there's like not too much like I could say that you could change. Maybe go to one foolish burial goods and then 3 droplet, you know, so you have a bit better of a going second option. Or you could replace the 3 droplet with super poly. It's just whatever you feel is better. I think super poly is still pretty good though. But however, sometimes I'm like, if I'm to run, if like guns against my head to run either of them, I'm like droplet probably seems better. Do you like the Rescue Ace package so far? I see you went to 1 grief too. I also put you in the Despia in chat, Mr. Jake the Mountain Man, because yeah, you definitely like get it for like 10 months. I think that's how that works. But yeah, I like this. You have your time card, Biswell on the side for like mirror matches. That makes sense. The called by is like fine there in the side. Honestly, if this is the only deck, I'd say it's fine to side a called by, frankly. Cosmic's there because it's just a goat card, and then the crime just in case you go first. Actually, this is like my favorite list you've posted so far. Very good. You got the Sprine, the Dark, IP, very good, very good. And the Winda, I think, puts a lot of legs. Then you do have the rank 6 package with the Beatrice. Obviously, you could probably go to 1 Nessie if you wanted to, if you're looking for stuff to cut for anything else. We have Kane O'Brien here with his list that is... oh no, I think I reviewed the list earlier. So yeah, Kane O'Brien's 45 card list looking very solid. I really like the 2 talents. I don't see the thrust though, so I guess that makes sense. I would just max out on talents at that point, but you do have the, well, you have the droplets and the super poly and then the Nadirs. I think that's just fine to play the 2, actually. Very solid list. If I don't have thrust, you know, I think this is probably what you're looking to play, you know, if you don't have thrust or cross out. I'd probably be running like an ad lib though, or at least like another quem if you can. Oh, this one's now up. Our old chat's back, guys. It decided to start working. West Virginia's finest. You could do 2 cart, 1 ad lib, 1 quem. Agreed. Side deck, we got the Tri-Brigade Bucephalus for the 1 card gimmick lock. Love to see it with the Bergrand and then the Albalanetus and the Entis. My man is not running the Stapelia. I would definitely cut the Alba for the Stapelia. That's just me. Stapelia is just so good. And then the Queritus, you could definitely just cut for like an Entis in my opinion, or just put up along like we talked about. If I don't know if you updated it. And then Blazing Branded King and the Bestials inside with Dragon. Shaddoll Dragon I still think is a solid option on its own. It's just like a way to go over Floodgates going second by just going Branded Fusion. That's fair. I just think when you're going above 45 cards, 3 card is like fine. But I get it. Like drawing 2 card sucks, but a lot of the time you just want to see the card. So I think it's better to see the card than not. Like it's better to play the game than not play the game kind of thing. But I think that's why 2 card has always been my sweet spot as of recent. So I see if you want to keep it to 2. I think that's perfectly acceptable as we have been doing. Yeah, I get this Aquarius out the side deck though. Asura says felt good. Last spot was Lulu. Only loss was to Dinomorphia. Okay. Anbu, aka Anbu in the chat. Channel member, of course, alongside John the Vampire and all these other new channel members. Very much appreciate y'all. Albaz, then we have 3 Albaz, 3 Droplet. We have the Veilers and the Nibs for the non-engine too. No Super Poly is interesting. I know you, or no, yeah, you were siding it. So if you're siding Super Poly, that's like I personally would not be siding Super Poly. I feel like, but I get it if you want to do 41 cards, and then like I said, if you want to do between Droplet and Super Poly, it's like probably Super Poly or Droplet. So I get it if you want to do a hand trap package. I think these are your best hand traps because Effect Veiler is also a light spellcaster. It's a combo piece with Cartesia. Then the ad lib, that makes sense. And then the hand trap package on the side looks solid with the Cosmics and the Super Polys. You're missing a 15th card. I see the Bergrand. I'm assuming that's supposed to be a Bucephalus for a 1 card Nadir Servant, which makes sense. For a card, my friend, says Kane O'Brien, I'd put 2 Thrust and a Fusion Dupe in the main, but I don't have them, unfortunately. Fair enough, fair enough. I really liked your build, though, Kane. Doing very good for not having them. We have John the Vampire's updated list here. Let's see it. Let's see it. We got the Dark Magician in the main. Let's go with the Double Ash with the cross out with the Imperm. You'll love to see a strong hand trap package with the cross out. With the Nibiru, of course. I think that's very solid. Very good way to round out your non-engine with 6 non-engine. With the Super Poly, so it just ends up being 9. I think that's a pretty good number for 46. You'll usually see at least 1.5. So yeah, I like this. You got the Gold Sark, got the Quem. Not bad. 3 Aluber. The Dark Magician I like. I assume I assume you see, you know, some lab in your locals. I don't know how you feel about that, but yeah, I would be running that if you see lab in your locals, of course. Got the Pankratops with the 3rd Nib and the Nibiru and the 3rd Ash and the Ghost Bells Drolls. 3rd Imperm. I think that's fair. Especially since you're on the crossout package. We have the second last deck list here. I mean, I think I technically have like 1 or 2 more that have been DM'd. But Jake the Mountain Man has this 41 card list here with the main deck Feather Duster. You gotta let me know what was the main deck feather, like what was the theory behind that. I always see some people like running main deck evenly or Feather Duster, like I've been there before. I've just never had success with main deck Feather Duster, so I just have to ask you, like, what were the choices that went behind that? But besides that, I really do like your side deck. Extremely solid. You have the Droll and the Nib to cover all your matchups, and then Masquerade, of course, like, Droll is kind of like middling against the fire decks, but this seems like, you know, you're expecting to see some Vanadium, you're expecting to see some Flu, you know. Drolls might leave for Shifters or Bells, fair enough. Says John the Vampire. I think Shifter is something you can test with. So there's been enough topping lists where I feel like it's definitely like viable. It's just like I don't know how much how much stock I'm putting into it. So let's see. Oh, I have so many deck lists open. I really do like Jake the Mountain's list here. Very solid. You have the super polys with the thrust and no droplet though. I feel like droplet might be an oversight though. Like droplet probably needs to be somewhere between the side or main, but that's just me. Just because not having any non-effect negate might really hurt your Snake Eye matchups. So yeah, no, I like this list though very much. I just like have to ask, like, do you ever miss Imperm or Droplet on this list? I'm testing the Duster always. Puts a smile on my face going second when I see it because I know it's going to do work. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'd imagine. And it helps with your lab matchup at that point, I think. I mean, they are hand ripping you in the standby, to be fair, so I've never really liked Duster against the lab, frankly. It's good against fire, though, right? And let's see. Our last list is from Do Re Mi. Help me fit DM in Dragoon, LMAO. Alright, guys. We're going to help him fit Dragoon in DM. So, I think this list is very solid on its face. Has a nice flow to it. I mean, you have the Imperm and Droplets and the Super Poly. I don't think you need Imperm if you have this. If you have the Droplets, personally, like you could cut those and then put Dark Magician, and then you're at 44 cards. I think you're chilling right there. And then in the extra deck, you could take out Lulu Wall Lilith or a second Mirror Jade for the Dragoon. I would personally probably take out Lulu, but second Mirror Jade is fine too. I mean, it's not fine in a regional. I would keep it in for a regional. You're going to get a lot of games at a regional where your Mirror Jade could get sidelines, so you're going to need the second one. So yeah, side, then you have the Cross Out and the Ash Blossom. So I guess the Imperm makes sense for that reason, but you could probably just cut that all together. I mean, if you have the Cross Out though, or sorry, I mean, well, I guess that makes sense for the Imperm, but maybe like side the Imperm, but I don't like siding Imperm, so I get it. I would just not main Imperm with no other hand traps. Imperm's not good without other hand traps is the issue. You like want to see another hand trap with Imperm, so I'd like main the Ash at that point, and then at that point you're probably taking out a couple non-engine. Jake the Mountain Man, sometimes I miss Droplet, but I've been able to survive without it because destroying the back row with Duster through Thrust does considerable damage. Oh, that makes sense. I guess at least having the Duster, you know, gives you an edge, you know. Yeah, no, I think that was the last deck list, guys. So, I appreciate y'all coming through for the deck list review. That will be the end of that VOD. We can go over to maybe ranked games. Either that or react to a video. But yeah, no, we just smashed that goal. That's crazy, man. I'm gonna have to like update that now. That's crazy. I mean, like, do I even update the goal? Yeah, we'll just go to 35. There you go, you madman. Have at it. Jordan Buffington, how's it going? Nice to see you, nice to see you. So, this is the list I'm slightly testing. Just a little bit more gas with the Cartesias and double Guignol, and then I'm also testing some mass change. And take bets on it. This is the current deck now. Pyrrely map is just to maximize opening Numeron network. Okay, got it. So, this is the updated God Numeron deck that we all love to see every time we do a roasting the deck list. That Card Limits comes through and gives us an update on his list that he's ever changing. We have 3 Obelisk, 1 Winged Dragon Raw Immortal mode, 2 Guardian Slime, 2 Winged Dragon Raw, 2 Slifer, 3 Sphere mode, because this deck gets to use all the effects of Sphere mode very easily. And then we have the Planetary Pathfinder, and then the 2 Spooky Dogwood to give you a life point advantage to pay for Winged Dragon of Raw to just OTK over a IP Masquerena, you know? Very cool. And then we have the Lightning Storms and the Pyrrely map, just to maximize on opening Numeron network. Completely fair. We have the 2 Pod Desires with the 3 of the brand new, or well, this was from Dune. This brand new and Master Duel. I guess it's coming now. It's the draw 2 by tributing a level 10 in your hand or field. Very good for this deck since all your cards are level 10 except for the extenders. And then you do have the Avarice, which is cool. Do you like Avarice in this deck? Like, what's the purpose of Avarice in this deck specifically? Like, do you need it for your grind game kind of thing? Raymond Rossetti, I didn't know Malong's effect. Wow. Yeah, I think Malong is just like a better option in our deck right now. Just to get around the floating. Went from gold 4 to plat 5 this afternoon because of Tatsuano. Oh, wow. We love to see it. Then we have a 2 Numeron Calling, 2 Ancient Chant, 1 Monster Reborn, 3 Memories of Hope. What does Memories of Hope do? 3 Soul Crossing, 2 drop at 1 stat rotation because you run, you know, the Mound and the Numeron Network, and the Numeron Field Spell, and then the Breaking the Ruin. I don't know what that card says. And then Trial of the Sun God, the True Sun God rather, and this card I'm not sure what it is either. And then the 2 Revive Sky God. Revive Sky God being one of the funniest cards of all time that is actually very broken. Numeron Wall or Planet Pathfinder and 4 gates make Avarice turn 1. Oh, okay. So it's like always pretty live. Got it. Card limits Memories of Hope draws cards equal to number Numeron or number exceeds monsters I control. So I draw 4. Brother is cooking way too hard out here. He's cooking close to the sun. Yeah, no, that is I love your list, bro. I want to play against you one of these days. Definitely would be a fun matchup to do on stream. 3 God Slime, 1 Super Dreadnought, and then we have the Numeron cards, of course, that we love to see, and then the Skull Dread because you need to run it. You're running Numerons, and then the this card you also need to run because you can go into it very easily. You can use it very well. And then also the 3rd Dogwood, just in case. Pogreed times 2, exactly. Millennium Revelation recycles Monster Reborn. That's crazy. He is in the lab, and the lab is currently just on a freaking volcano. 3 Dark Ruler no more because you already have the 3rd Droplet and then the Cosmic Cyclone. My man is not losing going second. He does not believe in Droll and Lockbird. No hand traps. Is there a reason why you don't run hand traps in here versus board breakers? Or are you just more of a board breaker person in general, Mr. Card Limits? You'll have to tell us. And then we do have the Evenly, which... I mean, I see the Book of Eclipse too. You'll have to tell me what the Book of Eclipse is for because I'm actually quite curious why you would be running Eclipse right now besides the Kashtira matchup, obviously, and also to dodge Imperm. Very much appreciate y'all. This is like one of the best streams ever, honestly. And it's just our Friday stream. It's the most lit Friday stream ever. So let's go to the next list. Did you know that I have channel memberships now? This is the best way that you can support the channel and get some awesome perks. You get access to the hidden Discord group chat where you get to ask me any questions about your decks. You get early deck lists, some early videos even, and exclusive emotes to use in the YouTube chat. And you get to duel me once a month. The best part is you get to support amazing branded and Yu-Gi-Oh content going forward. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for the memberships down below. Thanks for watching the video.